Israel and Iran, two nations separated by distance but bound by one of the most intense and complex geopolitical rivalries in the modern Middle East. Their enmity spans decades, shaped by history, religion, politics, and power. But what drives this conflict? How did it evolve? And why does it matter to the world today? In this video, we'll explore the deep roots and the modern consequences of the Israel-Iran confrontation. To understand the Israel-Iran conflict, we need to go back to the early 20th century. Before the Islamic Revolution in 1979, Israel and Iran had relatively cordial relations. In fact, under Iran's Pahlavi dynasty, both nations cooperated economically and militarily. But everything changed when the Shah of Iran was overthrown in 1979. The new Islamic Republic of Iran, led by Ayatollah Khomeini, took a radically different approach. Iran's new government declared Israel an enemy, labeling it the Little Satan in contrast to the United States, which was called the Great Satan. This marked the beginning of Iran's support for anti-Israeli movements across the region. While Israel and Iran have never engaged in direct military conflict, they have fought through proxies. Iran's support for militant groups like Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Gaza, and Islamic Jihad has been one of the key elements of its strategy to confront Israel indirectly. Hezbollah, particularly, has been a major force in southern Lebanon since the 1980s, responsible for multiple attacks against Israeli targets, including during the 2006 Lebanon War. Iran funds, arms, and trains these groups, ensuring they remain a thorn in Israel's side. But the most concerning aspect of the Israel-Iran conflict is Iran's nuclear ambitions. Israel views Iran's nuclear program as an existential threat. Over the past 2 decades, tensions have escalated as Iran has pursued nuclear technology, which it claims is for peaceful purposes. However, Israel and its allies, including the United States, believe that Iran's ultimate goal is to build nuclear weapons. Israel, widely believed to have nuclear weapons of its own, has consistently said it will not allow Iran to develop such a capability. This has led to covert operations, including the alleged assassination of Iranian nuclear scientists and cyber attacks such as the infamous Stuxnet virus that targeted Iran's nuclear infrastructure. The Syrian civil war, which erupted in 2011, provided Iran with an opportunity to expand its influence even further in the region. By supporting the regime of Bashar al-Assad, Iran secured a stronghold in Syria, which borders Israel. Israeli leaders have warned that Iran is trying to establish military bases in Syria, bringing the conflict even closer to Israeli territory. In response, Israel has conducted hundreds of airstrikes on Iranian positions in Syria, targeting weapons convoys, military infrastructure, and personnel. This ongoing shadow war between Israel and Iran has raised the stakes for both nations and increased the risk of a broader regional conflict. More recently, the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East has shifted. In 2020, Israel normalized relations with several Arab states, including the UAE and Bahrain, through the Abraham Accords. These new alliances could further isolate Iran, which views the accords as a threat to its influence in the region. Meanwhile, inside Iran, domestic issues like economic hardship, political unrest, and protests over human rights have further complicated the nation's focus on foreign policy. As Israel strengthens its regional alliances and Iran grapples with internal challenges, the future of this conflict remains uncertain. But why should the world care about the Israel-Iran conflict? One major reason is the potential for a larger regional war. The involvement of global powers like the United States, Russia, and China means that any escalation could have worldwide consequences. Additionally, the Middle East remains crucial for global energy supplies, and instability in the region could disrupt oil routes, leading to economic impacts far beyond its borders. Despite the deep-rooted animosity between Israel and Iran, there are voices calling for diplomacy and dialogue. But with so many complex issues at play, from nuclear ambitions to regional power struggles, the road to peace is fraught with obstacles. Only time will tell if the region can move towards stability, or if the conflict between these two nations will continue to cast a shadow over the Middle East.
Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global conflicts and international politics. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the future of the Israel-Iran conflict?